I was bullied a lot in school. People bullied me for the way I looked. People didn't want to come and sit next to me. People didn't want to talk to me. And I really, really, really hated physical education. Whenever we had PE lessons where the teacher would say, go and pair up with somebody, you'd see everyone run to their friends, and I'd be left standing waiting for someone to pair up with me. And then I'd go through this embarrassing moment of the teacher either pairing up with me or them nominating someone that doesn't really want to be with me. And this happened for a very long time. And at that age, when you're in school, you don't quite know what depression and anxiety is. And mental health for young children is so important. It's so important to identify when somebody is going through mental health issues. They're going to be very quiet. They're going to be very isolated. They're going to be in themselves. They're going to lock themselves up in their room. And these are things that I used to do at that age. Lock myself up in my room, not talk to anybody, not hang around anybody, because I was so embarrassed about the way I look. Because whenever I'd step outside or whenever I'd go to school, people would look at me, point at me, laugh, make comments, not come and sit next to me. But for a very long time, I let myself get lost in these emotions and get lost in these actions that people were giving me. But at the same time, there was a lot of positivity happening around me as well that I was ignoring. And this is what happens when we are emotionally bogged down, when we're in a negative state of mind, we start to ignore the positive things that are happening around us. We start to ignore and not see the positive things, the things that we should be grateful for that are happening around us. And, I started ignoring the fact that my father was one of the strongest people in my life who made me who I am today. I started ignoring that I had a loving family and, everyone around me was looking after me in my house. I had, a loving mom who was providing me with delicious food every day. I had a brother who I could play cricket with and be myself with. I started ignoring all that and just focusing on the negative, and that would make me so upset. So for people who are dealing with negative situations in their life, for people who are trying to deal with being bullied or harassed or hated or whatever it is, if you're dealing with a negative situation, start to try and think about the positive things that are happening around you. Start to try and think about the positive people around you. Try and start to think about what it is that's good in life. Because once you start thinking about the good, once you start thinking about the positives, once you start thinking about the positive energies that are surrounding you, that will start to magnify and that will start to compound. The more you focus on the positives, the more the positives will come to you. The more you focus on the negatives, the more the negatives will come to you. So it's clearly our choice. I know it's harder said than done, and it's easier for me to sit here and tell you all this, but I am telling you this from lived experiences. I am telling you this from someone who has experienced this firsthand, this hatred, this bullying, this people ignoring me or people sidelining me because of the way I look. So I understand how difficult it is to be ignored. I understand how difficult it is to feel unwanted. But at the same time, when I look back now on reflection, I know there was so much positivity around me. There were so many good things that were happening. So for anyone who's struggling with this feeling of negativity, try and see what positives are around you. Even if there's very few, if there is, try and look at that and try and focus on that and try and see if you can magnify that. Because for me, I think what's made me who I am today is the way my father dealt with me. The fact that he normalized my condition, he let me do what I want to do, let me be who I want to be. And because I started focusing more and more on the relationship that I had with my father, that let me become more confident, become more resilient, become a stronger person. Also my friends, they helped me immensely. They normalized it for me. They mocked me and treated me just like they treated their other friends. I didn't get a special treatment because I looked different. So when I started focusing on my family, my friends, things started to change for me. I started to become a stronger person. This bullies and this comments didn't affect me anymore. And that's how you need to be. You need to not let it get to you. And the more you try and not let it get to you, the easier it becomes. It takes consistency, it takes practice, it takes time, but you have to keep working on it. You have to keep working on yourself. It's very easy for us to make excuses. It's very easy for us to sit here and say life's not going right because of X, Y, and Z. I'm not doing well in life because of X, Y, and Z. But what is it that we can do about it? How can we eradicate the X, Y, and Z? How can we make things better so that X, Y, Z doesn't exist anymore? Well, I was bullied in school, but by the time I got to college, I wasn't ever bullied. In fact, I was very popular because I embraced my personality, I focused on the positives, and I let the positives drive me rather than the negatives. When you let the positives drive you, the negatives go away. And for anyone watching this video because you clicked on it about being bullied and about being in a negative state of mind, to get into a positive state of mind, work on yourself, work on the positives, work on the things that are going to be in your favor. The bullies will be there regardless. It doesn't matter what it's about. The bullies will bully. The bullies will find a reason to bully. You have to be stronger. You have to have that resilience to say, actually, these words don't matter to me. There's been so many stories, and if you subscribe to my channel, I'm going to be posting a lot more videos talking about stories and incidents that have happened in my life and how I've dealt with them. And hopefully those stories are going to help you become stronger. So if you haven't subscribed, do subscribe to my to my channel. But really, it's about spinning the negative into a positive. Once you spin the negative into a positive, once you find the positives that are happening in your life will improve. So it's up to you, my friends. It's up to you. Do you want to stay and focus on the negatives, or do you want to go and find the positives that are happening around you? Because I was bullied. I was bullied a lot in secondary school especially. But I found a way subconsciously at that time. Now I'm reciting it, but subconsciously at that time, I found a way to deal with it. And the way I dealt with it was to focus on the positives that are happening in my life and let the negatives stay at the back. Yes, they affected me. Yes, they upset me. Yes, they made me sad. But I kept on going back to my positives. I kept on going back to my positives. I kept on going back to things that made me happy. I kept on going back to my personality. I kept on going back to my friends. I kept on going back to my family. So find those areas. Find those things that make you happy. Find those things that are positive and start focusing on them. And slowly but surely, all that negativity will start to fade away. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please do subscribe to my channel if you already haven't. It means the world to me. A subscription means a pat on the back to me. So please do subscribe. There's a link to buy me a coffee. I do love a coffee on the descriptions. So feel free, if you want to support me on my journey, to buy me a coffee as well. But thank you for watching. Keep watching. There'll be a lot more videos coming soon. Take care.